Joining us to talk about what's happening with artificial intelligence in the commercial world as far as stealing intellectual property, patent professor John Rizvi is back. Hey, John, welcome back in. Thanks for being here.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
You know, these apps that are out there, are kind of fun when it comes to artificial intelligence. I mean, there's even apps these days that allow you to fake the voices of celebrities. I would love to be able to talk like Jack Nicholson or, Anthony Hopkins, and these guys have distinct voices, right? And but when it starts to get involved in their craft and their art, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, now you're using this guy's voice, to sell maybe your own personal business products, then it's like, okay, hold on a minute, you can't be doing that. Or a lot of these musicians now, and we deal with this here in our iHeartMedia company, you have to get permission. You pay BMI and ASCAP to, the rights to play music, even on music radio stations, or use them in advertising. You have to get permission, but apparently now this isn't always the case, and artificial intelligence has entered into this world. So what's going on with all these celebrities up in arms that's causing the problem?
Yeah, so they actually have a right to be upset about it. You mentioned like endorsements, like Tom Hanks. I think this was after the last time I was on your show. He came forward and he said, listen, this dental plan that I'm supposedly endorsing, it's not endorsed by me. And it took a lot of people by surprise because the AI is so sophisticated now. It sounds just like him, and the avatar looked exactly like him. So it's really hard to tell it wasn't him. The same thing, Drake and The Weeknd had a deep fake song that completely was fake. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It wasn't them, and they made no money from it, didn't authorize it, didn't endorse it, or any of that. So this is an issue. So 200 musicians, including Tom Hanks, Bob Marley, Frank Sinatra, Nicki Minaj, the WERC, Stevie Wonder, Katy Perry. They wrote an open letter to AI, to the tech industry, with their concerns about AI-generated images and audio. And the law is scrambling to catch up with the technology. In fact, Tennessee has passed a new act. It's called the Ensuring Likeness, Voice, and Image Security Act. The acronym is for Elvis, and it's specifically to prevent the dangers of artificial intelligence and having songwriters and artists have their image or audio, their voice, taken without their consent and without any compensation.
I'm a little surprised that this doesn't already exist, in that you cannot use somebody's name, image, and likeness in an advertisement or an endorsement unless you get that artist's permission. I mean, you take corporations, for instance, like the big ones, Coca-Cola or Delta Airlines or a major insurance company that wants to use a celebrity. Those advertising agencies and those heads and those departments know the rules about using, celebrity endorsements in any fashion. So wouldn't they all be kind of aware that, hey, that includes artificial intelligence? We can't, just because this is a new entity, grab onto it and just forget all the other laws that apply to what we've been doing for years and getting permission. I mean, I'm kind of baffled by the ignorance of people that are using this, thinking that it's okay.
Yeah, so where they're getting a little bit of support, and that's why the need for this legislation comes in, is under copyright law, there is an exception for fair use, and it's for non-commercial use of someone's likeness. But there's really strict requirements, and there's a lot of factors that have to be taken into account. Previously, prior to AI, it was very clear, because it was so expensive to have an image or likeness done. It was very clear to find commercial intent, right? You could tell, like in this case of the dental plan using Tom Hanks' likeness, they have a financial interest in it. But now what happened is the AI software is so widespread, and basically there's a lot of free apps out there. So it's harder to find commercial intent because they're not charging their end users. There's an app, in fact, I think last week someone sent it to me. It allows you to have a birthday message said to you by political candidates or former presidents. You could have like President Trump could wish you a happy birthday, or former President Obama, and it sounds like him. It looks like them. But there's no, you don't pay anything. So under fair use,
that's a bit of a gray area too. When you download some of these apps, the apps are making money based on advertisements and clicks they get. There's money involved. But does this mean that there could be an open door, for instance, for the CEO of the American Cancer Society or another nonprofit charity organization to use the likes of a celebrity? Well, we're not for profits. We have a 501c3, so we should be allowed to do that. Does that give them carte blanche and freedom to do that?
It doesn't. I mean, the profit is an important factor, but it's only one factor. I mean, the other there's four other factors, like how much of that work is taken, and whether there's harm to the actual artist. Because yes, it's under fair use. You may not be charging. You may be a nonprofit, but these artists make money off of licensing their voice and their likeness. They're not a nonprofit, so it's great you're a nonprofit. It doesn't mean you can go into Sam's Club or Costco and take whatever you want. Say, hey, we're not doing it for profit. It's to help help the
needy. That's a good point.
Okay, fine, but so that's not going to fly. But it certainly may. The other difference is that it's making enforcement very difficult, because it's not. There's a cost involved in bringing litigation, and when you have 1,000, 2,000 apps that are doing this, are you going to bring 2,000 lawsuits?
This artificial intelligence has certainly brought on a whole barrage of new problems and legal challenges for sure. That's expected down the road. Hey, buddy, I appreciate you. John Rizvi, patent attorney there. Thank you so much.